Welcome everyone to Samudri Shakti Online. So introducing Becky. She is a yoga teacher who lives in Michigan. She has taught yoga to teachers in elementary school, where she taught K through 5 vocal and general music for several years. And she just retired in 2018. If you've not heard Becky play piano, you just have to get to know her on Facebook, and you will be delighted with I don't even know what to call it, but just amazing piano music. And I'm probably insulting her by saying amazing piano music, but all the great composers, and I'm getting a piano education by listening to her play. So she was initiated as well by Paul Mueller-Ortega in a form of meditation. And Becky, you'll have to help me with the pronunciation of that form. What is that form?
Nilakanta meditation.
Mm-hmm. And she practices meditation daily. She is currently teaching classes at a studio in Michigan and also serves as a substitute teacher. And that's in the school district, right, for music education? Yeah. So welcome, Becky, and thank you for presenting tonight, Finding Grace Where We Are. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and hand the screen over to you.
All right. So as Lisa said, Finding Grace Where We Are, this is self-care Anusara style. I'm going to kind of be piggybacking on Will Doran's spiritual journey by sharing my own personal yogic journey. And as yogis, I think our journey now takes on a fresh purpose as we strive to keep our vessel strong for our own protection and the protection of others. The 3 paths of yoga from our immersion manual are body, mind, and heart. Ayurveda, which we will talk later about, also encompasses these 3 paths of practice. Anusara yoga is grounded in a tantric philosophy of intrinsic goodness. We are the embodiment of supreme consciousness, and our highest intention in practice is to align with the divine and to step into the flow of grace, our essential nature. Anusara teachers have a heart theme that's interwoven throughout the class and embodied in the asana practice itself, using the universal principles of alignment. On this slide, I'm showing for the body, the first path of yoga, taking care of the body through, and this would be through asana and pranayama. When else could I take a class with Heidi, Desiree, Jay, Carrick, Adolfo, Adam, Rachel, or Chaya without traveling? These classes are uplifting by their very nature. Personalities and teaching styles are very different, but the Anusara foundation is apparent in each one's teaching. It's an especially auspicious time to consider what heart theme would serve our classes. And as teachers, we are tapping into our backgrounds or other sources to enhance our teaching. Themes that have been helpful for our circumstances today from classes I've taken recently, I'll just name a few themes that were chosen. From Heidi, patience. From Chaya, forgiveness. From Adolfo, resolve. And today, this morning, from Rachel, gratitude. Pranayama practices in their classes have included Nadi Shodhana and Viloma Pranayama. I've also enjoyed delving into my own personal practice. I've learned much from setting a goal and working toward it. I've added more pranayama for mental clarity and focus, for example. And I'm also working on my handstand for strength, but also mostly just to dispel fear. I wanted to include this slide because I've experienced, and I know many of you have taken some of these classes. They're just running through the 5th of July, as you can see there on the slide. The classes are streaming every day starting at 11 Eastern time. I believe there's a chat box question. I'm gonna ask a question. I can't type it in, but you guys can answer it. The question is, can you share a goal that you've set for yourself during the quarantine? It doesn't have to be a lofty goal. Simple is good. It could be, I got out of bed every day. I don't know. But anyway, yes, please share your goal. Small, large, whatever you have, just share it in the chat. We'll give you a minute to do that, and Maduri will read the responses out loud from this question. Inquiring minds do want to know.
Everybody knows how to type into the chat? There
Unless
we go.
driving,
They're coming in.
Natalie doesn't get to because she may be driving, or
Oh,
if you're
right?
or if you're walking your dog or
Right.
whatever.
All right, so we're going to give everybody about 4 more seconds to, type into the chat. And then we'll have Maduri jump in and read them. So here we go, you guys. Count it down. 4, 3, 2. Oh, they're coming in fast. Hey, Roxanne, welcome. 1. All right, Maduri, jump in.
Well, what's so beautiful, what people are trying to do during quarantine, everything from cleaning out their closets to getting closer to their family. It's so beautiful. Jacqueline, which I love, it's really a challenge for us to stay connected to our students, and that is what she's very interested in. Will is staying calm and holding the space for transformation through grace in the times of great stress. Barbara is like cleaning closets as well as eating healthy and meditation. Atha is remaining optimistic. Sojin Kim, if I got that incorrect, I apologize. Move slower and appreciate her time more. For Deb Payne, she's staying steady and contemplative. Elena's staying calm. Justin's staying grounded. Gianni is to complete being contemplative in the present moment. And Sharon is to make it through unscathed. Kids fine in the community too. Roxana is just saying hello from Ecuador. Nancy is to start investigating a new business opportunity. Wow, that's great. And applying for her dual citizenship to Canada. Adriana is trying to teach as much as she can and go deeper into things. Gianna, again, is how my feelings and emotions were flowing daily. Nancy, outside time every day, plus a course in yoga and daily meditation. Heidi, I realize I am a planner. This has shown me how to be more present. For Pamela, is moving more fully into her teaching and business side of yoga rather than just practice and teaching. Roxana is staying motivated and motivating her family and keeping everyone positive in her life. Nancy is doing yoga with her mom of 92 years old and spending time with her son. And Abdul, he just told me how to pronounce his name, but Abdullah Han is getting rid of bad habits and building new ones. And Aileen is staying strong and healthy for the people in her life. Try to be happy and grateful every day despite the collective vibe. Thank you everybody for sharing your goals for during this time of COVID. That's wonderful. Over to you.
Okay, am I back? Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. Okay, that worked very slick. Now we're on the Ayurveda page. So this is still taking care of our body. Well, actually, Ayurveda encompasses all 3 of the paths that we talked about earlier: body, mind and heart. Yeah. So, a poll question has actually popped up. You can go ahead and share with us now if you've had any experience with Ayurveda.
Closing the poll in 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's
Yes.
take a look at the results.
Wow. Okay, most of you guys know this. That's very cool. Okay. All right. Thank you, Lisa. All right. I just wanted to start by saying the caduceus symbol was adapted from Ayurveda by the, I'm sorry, the caduceus symbol was adapted from Ayurveda by the West as a symbol for physicians. So you might have seen this symbol before, standing for medicine, the practice of medicine. The Sushumna, like the staff in the picture, is vertical and straight, traveling in a parallel motion with the spine. And the Ida and Pingala channels twist together like that of the two snakes in this icon, intersecting at a handful of points or chakra centers. Ayurveda is the sister science to yoga, and I'll just let you guys read the quotes that are there. There's some that are special to me. One I have on there is from my dear friend and teacher, Natalie Pyatt. She always tells us we're digesting not only our food, but our experience and emotions. I'll just give you a few seconds to look at that, and then we'll go on. So since most of you have heard of Ayurveda, you probably know about the doshas, and these are our constitutions. In Ayurveda, we adjust our daily practices to align with the seasons and our constitutions, or doshas. The Vata dosha is typically drier and airier. The Pitta dosha is fiery and hot. The Kapha dosha is watery and unctuous. Seasons are also ruled by the doshas as well. For instance, fall is considered Vata season, and summer is considered Pitta season. Certain practices and food choices help balance the doshas. If you're curious about your dosha, you can check the Banyan website. Deepak Chopra also has a dosha test on his website. An Ayurvedic practitioner can take your pulse to determine your dosha. All right, this slide shows my personal practice most of the time. I didn't start with all of these practices. They've been added over the span of several years. I'm thankful to be retired now also. It's much easier to stay steady with these practices. So yogis, I'm going to give you a minute to read the slide. Ayurveda is not a one-size-fits-all practice. What works for one person might not work for another. It's been said that what is nectar for one person can actually be poison for another person.
I'm wondering how, like your morning routine that gets you to breakfast and then a shower. How long does that take you?
Well, when I used to work, I'd get up very early. I mean, the oil and the scraping tongue is like a second. Drinking water doesn't take that long. The massage, I probably take about 5 minutes for that. Meditation, 20 minutes. So like getting to breakfast is probably a good hour, I'd say, before I eat. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and
Becky, really quick, can you repeat the name of the website people can go to if they want to take a dosha test? Did you say
Sure.
Banyan?
Banyan, yeah, Banyan. It's Banyan Botanicals. Theirs is really good. Natalie likes that one too. I would just say I put the little scream guy because, you know, when people start getting interested in this, sometimes when they see how much you can actually do, and this is just a small part of what you can do, there's a lot more things you can do. You just add one more new thing at a time. That's the only way to do it. Otherwise it won't stick either. And then if you're wondering what the poll question popped up, if you've ever participated in an Ayurvedic cleanse, we're going to talk about that next. The triphala mentioned there at the end, that is an herb. It's an herbal supplement. It's kind of like a magic scraper that acts as an inner cleanser. It helps with your digestion and elimination. And I also hope you noticed that meditation and yoga practice are part of the sadhana.
I'm going to close the poll in 4 seconds. So if you haven't responded to the poll, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's see the results.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess too, it's also, for me, it's always curious, like what would people consider a cleanse? You know, sometimes you might think it's like something really large and overwhelming and
Right.
you know, maybe a cleanse is something, can be considered something much smaller than that.
Bingo. We'll talk about that. All right, I'm going to move on. Seasonal cleanses. Ayurvedic seasonal cleanses are done twice a year, once in the fall and once in the spring when the seasons are changing. At this time, you draw more attention to your sadhana, eliminate excitotoxins, which would be like caffeine and alcohol, and plus you'd eliminate dairy, meat, sugar, and wheat first, and then you would take a simple, nourishing mono diet after that. And then when you're finishing up your cleanse, there's an optional purge. And then I put the scream guy because people are like, what? Actually, you don't even have to do that part. And cleanses are very tailored to each specific person. Like the spring one is usually a little gentler as well. People don't always take a purge with that one. The purge, the reason for that would be to clean out the digestive tract. In our practice, it can be done gently by preparing the body with internal oleation first, which is mean you're taking in ghee in the morning and then no other fats that day, and it lubricates the the shrota, you know, the sushumna, the main channel. Then after the oleation and the mono diet, you would, for your purge, it could be just like taking some extra tablets of triphala or a strong senna tea. And if your body doesn't get dry, you could possibly do a saltwater flush. Again, Ayurveda is not a one-size-fits-all practice, and every time I've cleansed, I haven't always done that. So Natalie does like to say, remember, the ego has one card to play, and that card is resistance. So sometimes it'll take you a while that, I'm not sure about that, and then you'll try new things and you'll add them to your practice. And it's very individualized, I would say. I did a lovely seasonal cleanse with the Kula in Pueblo with Marcia and Melanie. They're both in Heidi's studio in Pueblo. They're both Anusara teachers. Melanie's also an Ayurvedic practitioner. I did it with them just about 3 or 4 weeks ago. The spring cleanse is typically gentler. We made some amazing healthy food, and I learned some wonderful pranayama practices too. I'm hoping I'll be able to attach my notes in the chat. It has a bibliography of books to read and things like that. Lisa, let's see, we did the poll question. I think there's another one coming up for this slide. So I don't know if you want to pop that poll question up about meditation. We're just asking kind of a two-parter. Is meditation part of your daily practice? And then the second one, if it's not, are you interested in learning more about it? And there's no shame in not doing it yet, because I remember for the longest time I did not have a dedicated meditation practice. So it's just one of those things you just add gradually.
All right, I'm going to close the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, closing the poll. And here's the
So
result.
while we're waiting for
Whoa.
the poll results, Jackie, Prate, you are a fabulous Ayurvedic practitioner, and there's a lot of questions coming up about Ayurveda in the chat. Would you mind answering those as we go along? Would you be willing to do that?
That'd be great.
Thank you.
I did not know
Thank you.
I did not know Jackie was an Ayurvedic practitioner. Natalie is too, but I think she's driving.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so keep going, Becky. I think what's going to happen is Jacqueline is going to answer those questions in the chat. Maybe we'll go back and review them after the presentation, but she'll be handling those in the chat so that people are getting answers while you're still presenting.
Oh, perfect. Okay, gotcha.
And if I don't have the answer, I'll refer to you and Natalie. I don't know what the vegan substitute for ghee is. Sorry.
Well, usually we just use, you could use coconut oil or olive oil or anything like that is fine for the vegan. I think black soil is what you do for the oleation if you don't have the ghee. But for cooking, it would be like coconut oil, usually. Okay, anyway, meditation. Now we're on the third path. Meditations generally, I know for the Nilakanta, we do twice daily for 20 minutes. I believe they also do that with transcendental meditation. The practice is also 20 minutes twice daily. Nilakanta actually means blue throat, and it comes from the myth of Shiva holding poison in his throat, and his throat turns blue. And he transmuted this poison into nectar. Paul Mueller-Ortega is the one who teaches this practice. Anusara yogis who are his students that I know of, there may be more. Carmel Calcagno, Will Duran, Natalie Pyatt, she's on this call as well. Sarah Davidson Flanders, Elizabeth Doberneck. And I know that Elizabeth is in the same studio as Rachel and Chaya. Sarah and Elizabeth are acharyas, which means they're certified or they're officially teachers of this practice. It takes many years of study to be able to do this.
And I just wanted to jump in. Nancy Burtonshaw just mentioned in the chat that she's also a student.
Paul's?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. This is, it's a mantra-based practice. Paul actually gave Anusara yogis a mantra, Namaha, that can be used if a person is not initiated. It's not meant to be controlling your mind, which most of us know that. Thoughts are just like the clouds passing by, like Snoopy's looking at there in the picture. Effortless practice. The vehicle, mantra is a vehicle to go inside. And in this practice, Paul calls it melting. So you're thinking the mantra more than you're trying to specifically pronounce it clearly in your mind. It just kind of melts. And then as thoughts come up, you return to your mantra. Consistent practice is the most important thing. Okay. Now, spirit, body, mind, and spirit, third path, pranayama and chanting. Other practices that support and deepen the meditation practices is pranayama and chanting. They're part of our yoga practice as well. I know one that we do frequently in class is Nadi Shodhana. It's particularly clearing for the mind before beginning the meditation practice. And you can see the yogi in the picture is showing the mudra for the Nadi Shodhana. Japa, which is chanting or singing a mantra out loud, can be done before or after a meditation practice, or it can be done on its own as well. You're going to follow your meditation with a shavasana or just sitting quietly before returning to the day's activity. And I'm really sorry, guys, I can't help it. I love puns, so I put take a chance on me. And we're going to do some chanting. So I actually asked Paul Mueller-Ortega if it was all right to use his Sanskrit rendition of this, what I call kind of an old chestnut of the Mahamrityunjaya mantra, or the great death-conquering nectar mantra. The Maha, of course, means great, Amrita, nectar, Jaya, victory. And I'm going to credit Sarah Davidson Flanders for this little description. She says, "This is a beautiful chant for us at the time when we or others need support to assist the upwelling of the nectar in the heart. It also can be offered as a prayer to others, to those who've passed, or even those who just need encouragement or hope." I would like to note here too that Sarah has a YouTube video explaining this mantra, and she sings it as well. That is in my notes, and I hopefully we'll be able to somehow share those with you. We're going to listen to Paul Mueller chanting the mantra a few times, and we'll just follow the Sanskrit. And then when I change the slide, we'll also do some chanting as well. So here he is now.
Om Triyambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritata. Om Triyambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritata.
I'm going to change the slide just so you can see I transcribe this into music. Just it helps me. I'll be leading you guys in this chant, and we'll repeat it several times. I would actually like to offer this mantra as a healing balm and a prayer. I'm going to quote Judith Hill, a dear friend of Midori's and our beloved poet goddess.
Becky, can you speak up a little bit louder?
Oh, yes. Sorry about that. We're going to offer this mantra as a healing balm and a prayer. And I'm going to quote Judith Hill, our beloved poet goddess. "We must cry more tears for America and tears for the fallen people of color, our innocent dead. Pray for the beloveds gone, whose pictures hang in living rooms where their voices no longer ring." And she has made a list of names. I'm going to read them. She's added many more since this, so just to let you know that. George Floyd, Freddie Gray, Christian Cooper, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Botham Jean, Tatiana Jefferson, the Scottsboro Brothers, the Central Park Five, Jonathan Farrell, Renisha McBride, Stephon Clark, Jordan Davis, Alton Sterling, Ayanna Jones, Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, The Charleston 9, Sean Reed, Trayvon Martin, Sean Bell, Oscar Grant, Sandra Bland, Philando Castile, Pamela Brown, Corey Jones, John Crawford, Sean Monterosa, Terrence Crutcher, Keith Scott, Clifford Glover, Jamar Clark, Claude Reese, Randy Evans, Ezel Ford, Michelle Shirley, Paul Childs, Riddell Jones, Kenny Watkins, Laquan McDonald, Yvonne Smallwood, Amadou Diallo, Maurice Gordon, Walter Scott, Elijah McLean, Derek Scott, Eric Gardner. With this chant will be a prayer. We will repeat it several times. And you'll know when we're ending. I'll slow it down, and then we'll end with the Om Shanti. I'm just going to take a sip of water, and then we'll start. Om Triambakam Majamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Udvarukami Vabandhanan Mritnyor Mokshya Mamritata. Om Triambakam Majamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Udvarukami Vabandhanan Mrityor Mokshya Mamritata. Om Triambakam Majamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Udvarukami Vabandhanan Mrityor Mokshya Mamritata. Om Triambakam Majamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Udvarukami Vabandhanan Mrityor Mokshya Mamritata. Om Triambakam Majamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Udvarukami Vabandhanan Mrityor Mokshya Mamritata. Om Triambakam Majamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Udvarukami Vabandhanan Mrityor Mokshya Mamritata. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.